My shop has an open crevasse. Today, we're gonna build a cabinet that has 2 pull-out trays for the Milwaukee packouts, because let's be honest, when they're stuck together, it's a pain to get to them, and a pull-out tray for the crate on the bottom that houses my tool belt and some other odd and end tools. So we're gonna work on our drawing, we're gonna work on our cut list, we're gonna work on our cabinet building, and hopefully we can all get the fit. Let's get after it.
We're going to start this project out with some graph paper, tape measure, ruler, and a pencil. Just kind of start sketching some stuff out and seeing what we can make happen. I got my cabinet all sketched out here. Got 1 pull-out tray on the bottom, 2 on top. I was hoping to be able to do 3, but this the tool belt sticks a little bit out of the top, so there's just not going to be enough room. I got my cut list down. It's not the prettiest way that I got to it, but I did it. I actually found that to be actually kind of hard. It's not as easy as everybody makes it seem, so hopefully that's going to be good. We'll see how accurate it is, and if not, we'll make adjustments as we go. Once I have a rough idea of my cut list and my parts, I'm going to lay everything out. I like to use a T-square and this long straight edge, just so if I ever need to match any grain pattern I can, it helps me minimize waste. Now that I got everything marked out on my board, it's slightly oversized. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the piece of painter's tape. I'm going to mark what everything is and where it all goes, just so that I can keep track of it all. This is why we cut our pieces oversized. Maybe we should pay a little better attention. Now that I have that mistake out of the way, I'm going to continue to break down the plywood with my DIY track saw. You can check that video out if you want. Then I'm going to take it over to the table saw when pieces are a little bit more manageable. I make sure to cut these fillers all in the same shot so I know my fence is exactly at the same distance and they're all identical. I know, you shouldn't cut a piece on the table saw like this, but if you do it slowly and take your time, you can do it safely. If you don't feel comfortable, please don't do that.
I need to rip down the 1/4-inch sheet for the back panel, so instead of setting it up on here, putting the clamps on it, trying to be all fancy and standing while we work, like we're gonna throw it on the ground and get barbaric. Let's go! I'm just kidding, you didn't actually think I was gonna throw this down, did you? Hell no. I'm going to go through it. I'm just going to draw a line on every piece that's going to get a dado cut in the back of it. I'll make 1 pass on all the parts. I'll bump the fence over. I'll run 1 through again, and then I will use this little piece of the 1/4-inch backing that it's actually going to be. I'll use that as a spacer so it's snug. Not tight, just snug so it slides down in the back. Just going to set my piece of stock that's going to be used as my cleat on the back. Just slide it over. And perfect, it just wiggles the blade just a touch when I have it on there. And I'm going to put it at 5/16. Okay, I lied. That first part was at 9/16 and I caught it and I just changed it to 5/16. I figured you didn't care, but I just wanted to let you know. I'm gonna run this piece through as well. This is a piece of scrap. I'll run it through, I'll bump it over, and I'll use this as my test fit to see if we can get everything to fit good. I'm actually gonna cut it on both sides so that if I mess one up, I don't have to recut it again. I can just keep it where it's at. All right, so we're gonna do a test fit on the back panel now, the full piece. Got the whole groove cut. The 1/4-inch slides right in. Slides nice and easy. So for this last part, sorry, couldn't hear you. So for this last part, for the bottoms of the drawers, I'm just gonna use this piece of scrap that I found. It's not maple, it's okay. Don't judge me. Maple's expensive. I found it, I'm gonna use it, it'll be covered up. Nobody will ever know, it'll be our secret.
Does that look like a 22 and 5/8 or 3/8? 5/8 or 3/8? Oh, definitely 5/8. So I guess pretty big lesson learned right there. Make sure you take your time when you're writing with a Sharpie. On painter's tape, the difference between a 3 and a 5 when you're writing sloppy looks the same. So we're a 1/4 inch short. I think we'll have enough room. I hope we'll have enough room. I'm gonna double check some of the measurements, and I think we're just gonna build it and figure it out, but it's stupid, just pay attention. So now I know I'm about an 1/8 inch short or less. I got everything mocked up right here. And if I set the ruler right on there, it looks like I got about 5/16 or so to play with. So I think I can take about 3/16 off of the sides and I should be okay. Hey dummy, what's that face for? Why are you looking like that? Why don't you tell us what you're thinking? Right as I was about to drill the pilot hole in the side, I thought to myself, maybe I could use pocket holes on this and hide them. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put some holes on the bottom. I'm gonna put some holes on the inside top. With pocket holes, we're gonna conceal it all, and I think it's gonna give us a cleaner look on the sides. It is gonna be underneath there, so we'll never see it. Okay, I gotta point this out. Look how long that blue clamp wiggles for. It's still wiggling. Like it won't stop. Now it's time for me to put the top of the cabinet in. Remember, this is just set in here, nothing, it's not tight, it's just holding that side up. So I'm gonna put in all my pocket holes on this side. I'm gonna run a line of glue right here on the bottom piece, and then I'm gonna run a line of glue on the top piece and then set that in, and then this little brace here will pop out. I'll put that on the bottom. I forgot to put glue on that other side, but I think we'll still be okay. You can see this top piece is nice and flush, but this bottom is out, maybe just like a 32nd or so. I'm just trying to make everything perfect. So I did put 2 screws in here, and then I'm gonna pry this bottom over a little bit and then reclamp it. Then I'll put those bottom screws in and be able to go the rest of the way through. Time to build the drawers that the packouts are gonna sit on. Simply got a piece here. I'm gonna take 2 pieces, nail them to glue and nail them to the sides, and then I cut a bunch of extra longer pieces at the beginning. I was gonna mark those to size, cut them on the miter box, and whoop them up together pretty quick.
But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Now that I got all the shelves built, I'm just gonna pop these clamps off. I'm gonna go throw some screws in the sides of the drawers as well. But I want to try and see how this thing fits for it. Pretty good. I'd say there's maybe a 3/16 of an inch of wiggle in there, which is good. I like that. I think that'll give us enough room for everything.
Drawer slides. Whenever people say how they put them in, I really just don't understand it. I have no idea how you know what height to put them at. I'm clueless. I have no idea. So what I did is I set the box inside the tray. I'm gonna go to my highest point like this, and I'm gonna measure over here. It's at 5 1/4. So I know off the top of my cabinet, if I come down 5 1/4, this will hit. The bottom of that is at 5 1/4, this will touch the top. I'm gonna put a line in the cabinet at 5 3/4, so I'm gonna give myself about a 1/2 inch of play and space them from there, I think. We're gonna try it. Pull down 5 3/4, ran the line across there. Put these little spacer blocks on there. So that gives us enough room, right about a 1/2 inch. So I guess I figured out how to do that one. And I will then do the same thing with the second one right down here on this line, which is another 5 3/4 down, so I should have enough space. And that'll leave me enough room for the bottom one. With the back set in, everything looking so good, I can't leave these plywood edges. I have to edge band them. All of them. Fronts, tops, and backs. Front of the cabinet. Have to do it. Now that we got everything edge banded, trimmed up, sanded, now it's time for the exciting part because we're going to install the drawer slides.
You're gonna paint it.
Wait, what?
Paint.
No.
Yep.
No, I don't, no, we can't.
You're gonna do it.
No, I don't want to.
Yep.
No, no.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
No, no. Oh, no, no. No. There, I painted it. Hope you guys are happy. I want to build things, not paint things. Painting's terrible. I'm gonna go over how I installed the drawer slides because I don't find it that easy. So as we spoke previously before, we know we need to pull down 5 3/4, so that's what we're gonna do. I purposely have the back still left out of this so the square can stick through it. And actually, while I'm here, if I have the 5 3/4 mark, I'm gonna put a second one on there at 10 1/2 on each side before I get the other pieces on there and anything's in my way. Now that I have these lines on here level and parallel to each other, I'm just gonna clamp on this extra wide block and that'll give me room to set my slide right on top of it, adhere it to the side of the cabinet, and then also leaves me room in support to set the drawer on the bottom, and then I can secure that as it pulls out. Slide flush. I'm going to pull this out and then secure it into the side of the cabinet. Now that I got my shelf on, I know everything fits. That's all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop the slides out just a little bit, just the front section of it. I'm going to put it even with the front of the drawer. And then I'm just going to run a straight edge across it to make sure that those slides and the front of the drawer are even, and then I'm just going to secure it from the sides. This side did end up being a little bit off, but these are the slides right here. The hole that I put it in gives you a little bit of front to back wiggle room, so that's what I'm going to use. I can just readjust that. It's no problem at all. So for the bottom drawer, it's just a little bit different. I use 1/4 inch spacers that I have cut, and I put those in the bottom, obviously. And then I'm gonna put the slide on top of it, and when I screw it in, it's gonna kind of pinch it, and it's gonna keep it a little bit tight. And then I like to leave it hang out about 3 inches or so that gives a little support to the drawer when you're first pulling it out. And then once I'm done, I can shove the drawer in, and you can just tug and pull those out. Exactly like that, too, just like a tug and a pull. So that turned out to be more of a pry and pull instead of a tug and pull, but it still got the job done. Time for this potato chip of a back panel to go in to finish this build off. So here it is, completely finished. Painted, the black slides, everything fits in nice and tight. All the drawers pull out, everything opens all the way, which I really like for these packouts because they're kind of a pain in the butt when you need to get to this one and there's stuff on top of it. We all have been there. Soft close hinges. I did notice when I pull on these, they slide a little bit, so I am going to cut a little block and glue it in right there just so it holds it so I can actually use this to pull everything out. But otherwise, it's a pretty good little setup. I'm extremely happy about it.
On this project, I used less than 1 3/4 sheet of plywood. I used some edge banding, a little bit of scrap, and then 3 16-inch slides that were black I ordered off Amazon. I've been finding these pullouts extremely useful in the shop. I don't always go to jobs, so it's nice just to be able to have everything on those pullouts. It makes it very accessible and convenient to use. If you decide to build this project, you're probably going to spend more on the packouts than you are on the materials, but it's a fun one for the shop.
Hey guys, I appreciate you watching me build the Milwaukee packout pull-out cabinet. I hope you had as much fun watching it as I did building it and maybe learn something along the way. It's got some pretty cool pull-outs. Everything's all black. I think it looks pretty sick. So get out there, buy cool tools, build cool stuff, and tell your friends about it. See you. Put the holes,